And we are now live. Yay! So welcome everyone to the Nora Jane Fit Wellness Weekend. And we have Sarupa here with us this morning, and we are going to talk all things money and manifestation. And I'm so excited because this is a topic that a lot of us are becoming more impassioned about and happier to talk about. And I think it's great because I feel as though money is so important in life, and there's so much tension and so much unease around it, and having these conversations make it more accessible for everybody to understand that money is just energy, it's just flow. So I'm going to tap into Sarupa. Welcome. Thank you so much for kicking us off this weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how this, manifestation and energy became sort of your work and your calling?
First of all, I just want to say what an amazing weekend that you've.
Thank you very much.
When I saw the program, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Thank you. Oops, sorry, we've muted you. Hold on.
Myself.
Yeah,
am I unmuted?
Okay. You got to start all over again. You said, first of all, thank you for this weekend.
Yeah, no, I was saying that when I saw the program, it was like, oh my God, it's so amazing. And I think we've all missed events in lockdown. It's basically been a year, give or take a couple of weeks, in the UK at least, that we haven't. So it's just so nice to be part of something and to be part of something that's so beautifully put together. So I just wanted to say, hey, congratulations and well done.
Thank
you.
So
how did I get into all of this? It was always my calling, the manifesting bit, always. Before it was even a term made famous by Hay House or The Secret or whatever, the New Agers. As a child, as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, I believed in making things happen. It was just something innate to me. So the word manifestation wasn't in my language. It's not an everyday word. It now is more everyday. And even when I was like 8 years old, I used to have a book. Like I used to love stationery, like journal-y type things, which I still do. And I used to have this beautiful Sunday journal. And I would only write really important things in it. Like you couldn't just scribble in it. I'd go mad if my brother or sister tried to write in it, and they would, to wind me up. But I used to write in there things that I wanted to happen. Like I want to learn violin. And when I found it, I'd forgotten about it. And I remember finding it a few years ago thinking, oh my God, you were always doing this. You were always right. And even when I found my diaries, which were Dear Diary type of diaries when I was at school, ones that you hoped your mom didn't find, type of diaries. But even in there, when I was reading it, it was just, there was so much in there about what I want to happen this month. So at the start of a month, I'd be kind of setting my intent and all of that. So that was all innate to me. When it got complicated was when I decided to tell myself, oh, what's this word manifesting? I need to learn about it. And that's when I decided I didn't know anything, even though I was doing it. And we're all kind of doing it. It just happens to be my gift zone. Like we all have our own different, different areas. Because what you do, I couldn't do, and I would need to get that from you, like everybody else in the audience, anyone listening to the replay, we've all got our little bits. Doesn't mean we don't know about the other bits or have an awareness of it. It's just,
somebody's called.
So that, and then the money thing came a bit later because I was doing I was going down the old school traditional spiritual path,
like that.
Nation circle, crystals.
I
was trying to fight not being a healer, but I kept being drawn into it. I was teaching angel workshops, connecting to your guides, and I was following it was great, but it was following a path that was well trodden, by the teachers that I was learning from. But there was something missing for me because I loved working and earning and business and going out to nice places. I lived in London. I loved hanging out in Soho and going clubbing and meeting celebrities and bumping into them in the toilet or whatever, like, oh my God, did you see Zoe Ball or whatever it was in those days, she was in her heyday. So it was all that, but I felt like it didn't work in the spiritual stuff. It was like, we don't like the material world, we don't like money, but we believe in abundance but not money, and I was getting confused because it was like this idea that we're going to have love, there's going to be no money in the future, and I just kept imagine going to Waitrose or Tesco's or Sainsbury's, which are, you know, supermarkets in the UK, and saying, here's my trolley, but I'm going to pay you by love. I mean, they would literally say to you, it's, you know, it's £78. If you haven't got it, I think you need to leave your trolley and leave the store. But so it was, you know, I was just thinking, there's never going to be a time without money. We've always had exchange, you know, historically, there's always been exchange. Even when we were exchanging, you know, animals and shells and stuff, you wouldn't give a milking cow for a goat that was going to die. You know,
that's true.
There had to be balance. There was balance, you know, there was always balance. Otherwise, somebody felt they were being cheated or ripped off, or I've given so much and you've given me nothing, which is why I always say to women, don't do exchanges. Don't do free exchanges, because when you do exchanges with people, one of you will always feel, well, I gave so much and that person just did that one little thing and they didn't help me with this and didn't. It's the imbalance. So even in exchanges, I say, if you have to just swap £50 each, so you've exchanged that money into it, so there's a different vibration. So I fought this battle of spiritual material, and gosh, I know I'm gonna, like, to cut it really short, I channeled some work. Eventually, about 8 years after, I hid it from myself because I wasn't sure if money was spiritual. I took it out, started working with it. It changed the direction of my life, because every time I went into my business, tried to say, right, I'm going to be in my business full time, give up contract work, I couldn't do it. I could not make it work, because I could get paid whatever I wanted out in the employment world. I could sit in front of somebody and say, pay me. They'd say, what's your daily rate? And I'd say 1,800. I'd literally go for the highest I could, and they'd go, yeah, and not blink an eye. When it came to my business, I was lucky to be earning £60 a day, and that was random, you know, like
yeah.
You know, we're talking like 2007, 8, because there was this thing of, why would anybody want to pay me? I'm just doing what I do. Am I good enough? Am I a fraud? All this stuff. And it only came up in the business. It never came up when I was employed. So it was this real contrast. Found my money work that I channeled, started working with it, and thought, whoa, this works. And then in 2011, I outed myself as a money healer. You know, it was terms that I had created, and teaching people how to write a new money story, which for me is all about your soul purpose. Not because it's our sole purpose to be billionaires. It's just our sole purpose is about having more than enough. Whatever that is for us is always different, and different at different points of our life too.
I like that. So I want to tap into the energetic side of things. And for those of you who are in the audience, welcome, and do feel free to pop your questions in the chat box. And then at the end, we'll have a little time for Q&A. But my question is, I get the resistance to when you feel you're called to something, but then there's that uncertainty, right? So that's a really interesting, an interesting listen to hear how you sort of transitioned into your calling. So people listening, and this is a question that I always have, there's always the talk about money is energy, right? When you manifest, you envisage it, you feel it, you let it go, right? Ask, believe, receive, let it go, wait for it to happen. But I always find that really difficult, especially when it comes to money. And especially I'm beginning to realize that women and men have, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, different emotional makeups around money. So women sort of tie their self-worth and their self-value into how they feel they should receive money. So how do you get into a high vibrational state so that you are in the flow and in the energy of money? What is that money energy? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And one of the things that I tend to teach about is, when people say I want to manifest money, I just say, forget going for the money, because you're gonna come across, unless you are really prepared to come across every bit of resistance and story that you have about why you can't, and it will change even in a space of like 2 minutes. You can go from, oh, it feels good, no it doesn't, I can't do it, everybody else is better than me. You know, it's literally our emotions, for a start, our energy in motion, and it's this constant story building. So go for the creativity, go for what you want to create, It's much easier than focusing on the money, especially when you have perhaps a story of money that keeps going high and low and low and low and high and low. It's a bit inconsistent, and you've not really kind of found that groove with it. It's much easier actually to manifest, because money's about creativity. If we take away the stuff that people talk about, money being it's not the most important thing. It's an ally, it's a friend, it's a consequence of our creativity, our courage, our ability to be seen and and our alignment. It's not the central focus. It's not in the driving. If it's in the driving seat, and that's what can happen when we focus on that. So I would always say to people, it's great that you might say you want to earn a 10k months. A lot of people are saying to me now, I want to earn 10k months. It's like, great. And the question is, what you're going to do? I don't know. And it's like, well, let's start there, because if you don't know, all you're going is, I want money, I want money, I want money, I want money. And that's not a vibration, but a lot of people think it is. A lot of people believe if you just go, money, 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 that's my vibration. I've done it for 17 seconds. It's worked. It's not true. And it's hard. And this letting go thing is hard, but actually, there are steps and processes that you can take to let go, like, putting it out there and letting go. But that doesn't mean that we're passive. We've still got to take action. So if you want to earn, I was talking to somebody yesterday who asked me, when, am I in the right direction for my 10k months? And I'm like, so what are you doing? Nothing. So I said, well, then obviously no. I mean,
what is that?
Let's not pretend. Sometimes, of course, and we've all probably got very experiences of, you think of creating something, and before you know it, it's just like you've blinked and it's occurred. It feels like that's what happened with this weekend. You had an idea and blink, and then it's done, and everything just, all the stars come, align for you, and everything seems, and you kind of just think, I didn't even feel like I lifted a finger, and everything's just fallen into place. But that isn't also the point of everything. Sometimes we have to climb a few steps in a mountain, because we have to meet parts of ourselves that are no longer fit for where we're heading. They don't fit in the expansion of who we're becoming. So when she said yesterday, she said, oh, I'm not doing anything. So I said, well, you're not going to get a 10k month if you're just staring into space or not taking any action. So it's understanding that. And then when I work with other people, where we look at, okay, so you want this much money, but what is it that you're offering? And then you realize that what you're offering is never going to get you that. So it's looking at, where's the creativity block? So I would always say to people, start with your creativity. What's that thing that lights you up? What's that thing that you say, I can't do because I'm not ready? Like for example, a weekend like this, some people might have said, I really want to host a weekend. No, I can't, not yet. I don't have enough people. I don't know. Sometimes yeah, there's so many reasons why not, that we have more reasons why not. And a really good exercise to keep as a lifelong thing is, for every reason you give yourself why not, you have to give your reason a why yes. So you have to balance that out, because we are brilliant. We are professional at going, no, I can't, not ready, nobody will come, it's locked down, everyone's got too many people at home, they're not going to have time to come to any of these things.
I went through all of that, and I was just like, I'm still going to do it, even if I have one person per workshop, it's still happening.
Exactly.
Gotta start somewhere.
You've got to start somewhere, and you don't know. And then I always remind people, like, for me, I'm one person with so many hours in the day. So even if I had 1,000 people on, if I did a weekend like this and I had 1,000 people, and I was only going to do it if I had 1,000, which some people feel that they have to have big numbers. But if you're saying, and come and work with me, but I've only got 4 hours in the day to do coaching, I mean, you're only ever going to be able to do a very, you're going to be able to help 1,000 people in that intense way. So we live in a world of vanity, which is, numbers, likes, followers. Same with money. Everybody, sometimes I think it's a bit locker room of, I make this much, I make that much. It's like, you know what? Who cares? It's not about, abundance is never about the amount. There isn't a set amount. My more than enough might be £500 a month. Yours might be 600. or somebody else here, I'm going to just use Julia's name because she came first, hers might be 6,000. That doesn't make me less, her more, better, or anything like that. We have to find what we are in alignment with and what's right for us. And what was right for us yesterday won't be right for us today.
That's
You know,
the question.
we've
Yeah.
all had probably had salaries. So when you get your pay rise, it's like so exciting. You're thinking about how you're going to spend that money, and you, in the first couple of months, you always have a bit left over, and then before you know it, you're back to end of the month thinking, oh God, I can't wait to get paid again, because we grow into things. You know, we end up spending, saving, whatever we're doing with the money more. But you know, for business owners, creativity, start with creativity, doing that thing that gives you a little bit of the nervousness in your belly, you know, that makes you think, oh, can I, should I, could I, would I? And start dreaming about that happening, because that's where your magic will start to flow. That's where you will also meet parts of yourself in a more gentle way that you can address. But with money, you can just hit a wall if you just go, no, I'm just focusing on manifesting money, 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 money. So many people hit a wall, and they hit it almost like in the cartoon way of hitting it and bounce back. You know, like if you're running, like in a cartoon when a character's running, hits a wall and then goes back, and you're like, have I ended up here again?
That's when you said that, I felt a bit of resistance with that, because it's different, but it's true. Because there's something that and I don't know, like for you guys in the audience, if this rings true for you as well. But I always hear people, not always, but I've heard people say that as well. You know, go to what you're called to, like in business. It shouldn't, if you're working in that thing or that field or doing what you've been purposed for, it doesn't feel like work. So everything flows naturally. And so as money, and you can tell me if I've, you know, listened and understood you properly, if money, as money is an energy, you don't just pick an amount, you sort of almost go for that feeling. You go into what you're called to do, you go into what you're supposed to be doing, because then it just brings that abundance to you. Yes? No.
Well, yes,
No.
yes and no. I
Yes
mean,
and
I
no.
think
Okay, good.
it's yes,
Yeah.
everything's yes and no, because nothing is linear. There isn't a, you know, like I could take each person here who's, you know, and anyone on the replay, and we could say, right, let's write a new money story, and you might say, let's all go for 10K months, you know, or whatever, say we all agreed. But that journey would be different for each of you, because it's about your energy, where you're at. So the journey is unique, and the journey is the point. It's not about the destination, which is why I say don't. And also you can limit yourself, you know, by going for these things. But I think there's a myth that's sold that if you're doing what you love, it's going to be really easy. Actually, no, because if we were doing it, otherwise we would all be doing it. You know, the point is
so
that
true. Yeah.
we meet parts of ourselves always, and it took me a long few years to. I thought, oh, I've done that now. I've dealt with this issue. I've dealt with this block. I've dealt, you know, now I understand it. Now I've seen it. I've dealt with it, and then it would come back again, and I'd think, oh my God, I'm a failure. I've gone backwards. You know, now I can't earn anything, and da 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 da. But actually, it's just layers of it, layers and layers. And there's a constantly, if you're growing, you're constantly going to meet parts of yourself. So sometimes doing what you love is absolutely frightening. Doing what you're here called to do, you know, what your purpose is, and how do we know that we're living it until we're, you know, it's an, just because we thought about it doesn't mean it's necessarily our purpose. That could just be our mind telling us what to do, like a should. So it's all about the energy and understanding it. But yeah, sometimes it's definitely, it's not all unicorns and rainbows, because we have to meet our resistance, we have to meet our fears, we have to change our stories, we have to change our beliefs, we have to change our emotions, you know, and our reactions to stuff, and we have to accept that along the journey, you know, failure and, for me, failure and success are the same. There is, if we can stop looking at things in that way and judging them, because otherwise, again, something I was sharing with people yesterday, if you people say, I'll be happy when I get, we're going to stick with the 10K example, I'll be happy when I get my 10K month. They get it, and then they'll say it's not enough immediately. And I've seen it so many times, and I just, or they got 9K, that wasn't enough. You know, it's like, okay, what's going, you know, it's never it. we changed the goalpost. We're so continually hard on ourselves. So we've got to start embracing creativity, dreaming, playing, and taking away the fear of success and failure, because if we keep saying I need to be a success, we're never going to make it, because we're never ever going to be a success.
You make it sound really easy. Like you almost, in saying creativity and play, you almost, to me, and I love having these conversations because I feel like you're coaching me through, because as you're talking, I'm like feeling like resistance, like, no, I can't do it like that. Like play, creativity, like, no, you have to graft. So it's almost like a mindset shift with bringing abundance. And it's coming away from, like, you know what they say, the vortex, coming away from this structure of you've got to do a 9 to 5, you've got to sort of slave in something that you don't enjoy to be successful, and it has to be like certain monetary amounts, like this is what society classes as successful, and if you've made it, then here's the ego inflamed, and taking a massive step back from it and simplifying it massively. Creativity and play, I mean, anybody can really do that. And as you were saying that, I'm thinking, oh my god, like, can it just, because I don't play, like, I'm somewhat creative sometimes, but if you ask me, like, I'm always trying to find like the next thing to work on in business, because I know what I want to earn, and it's just like changing my whole approach.
And that doesn't mean, and the creativity and play doesn't mean that you won't earn what you want to earn, and that's the, because we're told earning money is about working, it's the 9 to 5, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've got to be sensible at work. So even when I started in my business, I had the business Sarupa before people, if this was like in 2008, 9, 10, 11, I don't think I would have been so me, because I would have been like the business person. You have to be like a newsreader for being interviewed. You don't have to be very sensible and all that, because we it's how we believe, especially because we used to, before perhaps we were business owners, go to work in a suit or going on the tube or trains, whatever, and traveling and having that whole kind of different, like almost like a double life, the working you and the whatever you. But yeah, play, creativity, and one of the things, with money, people talk about, a lot of people recently, I've been asking a lot of women. I was doing I've been doing a month with somebody else's membership site about, as a money expert. So first question I asked a lot of women was, how much do you want to earn in the next 12 months? What's the dream money? What's the excitement? And I think only one was able to put a figure. The others, most people, and I gently say to people, oh, that sounds amazing. I want to be debt free, or I want to buy a house, I want to get horses, whatever it was. They knew what they might like to do. I was like, that sounds great, amazing. I mean, it's boring to be debt free, not because it isn't important, but it's like, you've got to have a better dream than that as well, something beyond that. Otherwise we're bored. Debt free is so important to most people if they've got debt, and I understand that. However, it really doesn't drive us enough. It doesn't juice us up enough. I think there's more. You want to go to the more. So I'd ask people the amount, and they'd say, I don't want to give an amount, I want to be limitless. We as humans cannot conceptualize limitless. And I used to think we could, but we can't. It's impossible, because it's a concept of energy, and we're trying to fit it into what we know. So we could ask everybody here and everybody on the replay, define limitless. Now we would have similar words, because we've maybe read it, seen it on memes, seen it, we've pieced together enough, but we don't really, we can't experience, you can't describe it, you can't know how to get there. And the other bit about limitlessness is it's the unknown. And because it's the unknown, our human psyche wants to run away from the unknown. But when it comes to creativity, we have to sometimes step into the unknown. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm just going to give it a go, because I'm going to put one foot in front of the other foot, and whatever comes in front of me, I will address. And this is why getting support is so important. Having, a mentor or a coach, somebody that can see your blind spots. They're blind spots for a reason for you. Like my blind spots, I can't see. I have to have somebody will point them out to me. My mentor, it's like my jaw can drop, because she'll share something with me. I think, OMG, that's my blind spot. I didn't even know I was doing that. I didn't even realize it was happening, because we've hidden it from ourselves. So
we've got a question.
Oh, great.
I'm going to jump in with that before Myrna. So 1 second. So, because I think this may help you, Myrna. We've got 15 minutes. So I'm just conscious of time. Sure, but before we go on to Myrna's question, you mentioned money stories. And I think this might tie into, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it might tie into that. Can you quickly give us a rundown of what a money story is and then how we can create our money story to support us and then answer Myrna's question?
It's a story. So we all have a money story, which is based on so it can be based on your past, but I'm not a believer in our childhood shapes our money and it's all that. That's, our childhood to blame. I don't believe in blaming our childhood fully, wholly, in any shape or form. It's not the most central thing. We also are, it's about our emotional alignment, our mental alignment, but more importantly, the money story that we want that has the happy endings is about our soul alignment. So it's, for me, it always starts with the soul. So that's why it's about the soul purpose. That's why my money work is a spiritual journey. It's not, I'm not going to just, believe me, I love affirmations. They're magic wands. I was talking about affirmations in 2008. I find my old blog and I just think, oh my God, you were writing about affirmations, even before The Secret had come out, 2006, I was writing about them. They are magic wands. Words cast spells, However, I'm not going to just say it's about, you can't think yourself rich. It's about aligning yourself to your purpose and your creativity and why you're here. Then the things that we hear that you will always have enough becomes true. I want to come to this question because everybody has a money story. And yes, it's equal to people who are working, because when we're working and we don't have our own business, because it's not just business owners that earn money, it's people who are employed that earn money as well. But it affects our everything in terms of our job, our confidence, our ability to seek something that we want to do, but then we tell ourselves, oh, I can't do that, not yet. I've got to climb this imaginary career ladder, and all those sort of things. Whereas when I was employed, I never did. I took leaps in my career, and I was always told by the people, like my managers around me, you will not be able to get that job. Please don't go for it. We don't want you to be disappointed. And I just look at them. I didn't dislike them. I just go, thanks, but I just wasn't interested in hearing the no. And I'd go for it.
I love that.
So I got jobs that I wasn't supposed to get because I didn't even have the qualifications for. I got, for my job, one of my jobs, I applied for them to send me to do an MBA. And it was like, nobody, not even the directors have been allowed to go for an MBA. You will not get it. And I said, no, I will. And I did.
Is it your words or your self-belief? Or
I didn't do anything. I didn't do what people try and do now, which is visualize it and have an affirmations and keep my vibration, this panic of it. It was just like, yeah, I'm going for it. So I was aligned to it. But that's how alignment is. It's instant. Sometimes now we've made a complicated meal of it all, but I just went, that was how it was for me until I came into my business and I unlearned it all to learn it again, partly so I could teach it. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to teach it either, because I wouldn't be able to describe that I just did it like I'm trying to now. But it was just, there was no for me, because if I'd seen it in a vision, that was it. If I'd falling asleep and just had this vision come, or a tap on the shoulder that this is what I need to do, great, I'm going to go and do it.
Love it. You speak with such self-confidence. So
believe me, that was then. And then of course I've fallen on my knees. Of course I've in the unlearning of it and in trying to fit into what other people were saying about money, thinking, oh, I better be more like that money coach. I better be more like these people. They seem better than me. I mean, we all fall down the human holes, and then we have to pick up the tools that we know to bring ourselves back out again and remember who we are. And that's what the money story is that it's less about money, even though it's about money, as about remembering who you are and why you are, because it's all about your purpose.
You just gave me chills. You just brought me
on a Saturday morning, and it's not raining, so it's a perfect day.
I actually love rain.
So for Myrna, yeah, I think
so she has more.
Yeah, so that's I'm currently unemployed, but recently was found on LinkedIn. The day asked.
I think it's a brilliant question that she
It
has,
is
because
a
I'm going
brilliant
to say,
question.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we do. But the fact that you've seen that you've done that is brilliant, because the next time you won't do that. You know, and one thing I would say, if you're practicing to get a pay rise, a new job salary, or practicing in your business to tell clients what you charge, do it in front of the mirror. I'm pointing behind me because I've got a mirror. And I will sometimes, you know, I'll say to my clients, this is what I'd say to my clients. You say, my name's Sarupa and this is what I charge. Or my name's Sarupa and this is what this is my salary. This is what I'd like. This is my expectation for my salary. You know, use your own words, practice saying it, and then you'll kind of giggle a little bit, or you might think, oh my God, I can't say that. I can't say that. You'll go through all those different things. And some days you'll just think, oh yeah, that's what I'm getting, you know, but you'll go, it'll be a way of healing that part of you, because we expect to get in front of an interview situation and go, and when they say, so what are your salary expectations? We go, we wanted to say we wanted to say 45,000. We'll go, and out of our mouth comes 30,000. And you're like,
oh no, like, no, why did I do that?
But people have done, you know, clients have said to me, I had this lovely client a few years ago. We'd sort out her pricing, do everything, and then she'd get on these calls. She was brilliant at attracting and manifesting clients and wanting to work with her. And I'd say, you're amazing. You're really doing this. And then towards the end of our coaching session, she'd say, yeah, but I discounted them. And it wouldn't be like so say her package was 1,000, she would have charged them 200. I'm like, what?
No way.
Yeah, it was just couldn't come out of her mouth.
Wow.
And I know a lot of women do that. We immediately think, I know I normally charge 1,000. I'm going to say to them, I'm going to do you an offer. I'm going to do, 600 plus this, and throw in everything in the kitchen sink. I used to do that. Or when we're giving discovery calls, which has become so fashionable that I don't do them anymore. Partly because I can't trust myself to not give people coaching and mentoring, and then 45 minutes turns into 2 hours, and I'm like, I'm not doing them, and they don't serve the person that's getting the session with you, because they want to try and get everything for free. It doesn't do anybody any justice at all. Not a good energy exchange. It's disrespectful to them, disrespectful to you, but it's more disrespectful to them, and I don't want to collude with that part of the journey that I'm helping them disrespect themselves.
Any other questions, guys, as we have a few more minutes left?
Or any any comments about anything that I've said, any ahas that you've had, I would love to.
I have another question expanding on from Myrna's. So because I think for me, how do you what's your advice to women who are struggling with feelings of self-worth, who may have had difficult times in this beautiful journey we call life, and they just feel like a little bit beaten up? How do you encourage them to sort of find who they are again, get back into alignment, and to discover that amazing side of themselves where they feel loved and just amazing, and they feel like they can have what they want?
So take a deep breath first. Always, anytime you get that wobble, and we all get it at times, take a deep breath, a slow, nice deep breath, and come back into your body. Come to the mirror. I love doing mirror work. Come to the mirror and really look at yourself. And when I want everyone to do this, because it's actually hard. We look at ourselves when we're brushing our hair, putting our makeup on, but we don't actually look at ourselves. We're looking at ourselves to put, eyeliner on, eyeshadow, whatever. But I want you to just look at yourself and start a practice of smiling at yourself. And if you want to take it further, you can smile at yourself and then say, I love you. Start, but I would, if somebody had this issue of self-worth, that would be something I would say generically to everybody to do, but I would also want to understand what's underneath it. And you take small steps and you focus on the bits where you can say, okay, I might have had 10 situations where I felt my low self-worth impacted my day, but there was one where it didn't. And then because we know if you focus on what you want, that will grow. If you focus on, we're so focused on the negative that we're growing that without even wanting to, but we're doing it anyway. Is there another question? This is really affirming. I was having this chat with, my teeth are falling out here. I was having this just this chat last night with my partner. I feel I'm on the right path of playing alone, but it takes a while for the material reality to catch up, and he was nervous. I feel much more confident now that I'm doing the right work. Yeah, and absolutely, Julia. And the other side of it is you know, we want to have these money conversations that we're having now. Let's not pretend that sometimes we all need a bit of help. You know, we all want people to work with us. If we're in business or if we're employed, we want people to employ us. But it's a mutual thing that sometimes we just say, okay, this is where I've got to, and this is where I can feel and I can see and I vision and I desire to be. And I just need some help building that bridge from where I am to where I want to go, and allowing that support to come in. We don't need to be lone islands. And I think money makes people want to be a lone island, because when we were children and our significant other adults around us had money, we assumed when we were adults we'll just have money and it'll be easy, and it'll, you know, because we didn't really understand about anything. We didn't understand about the relationship with it or anything. And we may know what our parents or guardians suffered financially or the struggles that they had, but we will never really understand what they experienced. So we need to take away all that stigma. Not having money and not earning it doesn't impact your self-worth. We've made it too connected, and it doesn't change your soul purpose, and it doesn't change the gifts that you have, and it doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you somebody who should hide and shy away from anything. It's an opportunity for growth. It's always just an opportunity for more and growth.
So refreshing. I feel like giving you a big hug. I love that. It's so beautiful. Okay, I have one last question. I love that. So top 3 tips, or maybe your top 3 tips to become a magic money manifester.
Okay, so use this affirmation: money flows to me easily and effortlessly. Sing it, dance it, skip to it. When you go for a walk on your own, imagine, or if you're lucky enough to be able to go swimming. I used to love swimming, and I don't go swimming in the UK only when I'm on holiday. I don't like going to swimming pools. Different story. But like I'd be swimming or floating and doing my affirmation. So with the movement, you're putting it into your body. You have to be conscious with saying your affirmations. When we just put them as post-it notes here or screensavers, I used to have one called I'm slim or something, it was on my fridge door, but obviously I used just to open my fridge door, so I never saw it anyway. So, you know, and then I realized one day, I thought, oh, I open the fridge and eat out of the fridge, and there's the affirmation that I want to be slim and healthy. I don't even think I wanted to be healthy, I just wanted to be slim. So let's not be you know, sometimes osmosis happens, but we're not there yet as you know, we're still attached to mass consciousness. So play with it, work with it. Be open and honest about your fears. You know, don't try and pretend they're not there. That's what we do. We want to sweep them under. Oh, I've seen that. I want to sweep it under the carpet, you know, under the table, hide it. Don't do that. It's there. It's part of your journey. That doesn't mean you have to love it. It doesn't mean you have to hang on to it like a best friend either, but it's being aware that it's there. And then it links into the third tip: get help. You know, we live in a world where, even though we might be wanting people to get help from us, we see help as a sign of weakness. You know, still it's really entrenched in it runs in an unconscious level so deeply. Get some help. You know, do something that will move you beyond your fears. So in seeing them is a step one, and then it's allowing yourself to move beyond them. But definitely work with that affirmation like it's your favorite song. You know, like you keep putting on your favorite song on the radio. Make sure you play and work and feel this affirmation, own it, claim it, and let whatever comes. There'll be days when things come up when you're saying it that you think that's not true, it's never going to happen, but you can move through them. You can move through them if you're open and honest and acknowledge them. And that's the thing about money that I've learned more than anything about my own money story, because I used to see it in clients when they weren't being honest or they were trying to hide, and then I realized, where am I hiding? You know, what am I not telling myself? Where am I kidding myself? Where am I pretending? Where am I keeping my fingers crossed? Vulnerability is a strength of honesty as well. But the vulnerability is complete when we take action to move beyond that place. But when we're hiding it and in fear and in this sort of tightness, we can't do anything. So sometimes we just need to be really honest of, it's not working, and that's okay, because I can do something about it. Always, what can I do about it? What can I do about it? It's the easy part.
Guys, we have some goodies to give away, so please do pop your email addresses in the chat box, or you can message me privately, so you'll be in the running for that. Sarupa, I have really enjoyed it. It's been such a nice way to open up a Saturday morning, and you've definitely changed my mindset, but I really believe that everything happens for the right reason and at the right time. And for me personally, I don't play enough. I don't get creative enough. So that's been really helpful. Where can people connect with you on social media and on your website as well? And is there anything that you want to share with the audience?
So I will put my Facebook page here in the comments, and I should type my website in. I should have had these ready, but I just typed them in. The soulagentblog.com. I mean, you can contact me there. Instagram, I am another place I love to hang out. Although I haven't nailed Insta. You know, it's such a funny old place. I mean, all social media, but I'm an old school Facebook, because that was where it all began. You know, but Instagram I love, because I just do, but I just haven't quite got it right there. I think I've got that right. Instagram, yeah, .com Sarupa. So you can contact me there. I do at the moment, because it's lockdown, I do have a 40-day money healing journaling adventure, which I'm going through myself. I go through my own stuff. So
I saw that.
again.
Yeah, what's that about?
So you get emailed to you every day a journaling exercise. Most of them are 5 minutes, not all of them, but most of them are 5 minutes. And I ask you to time them, and then you do that over 40 days. Now, I launched it, I think it was 2 years ago. This is my third time of doing it, and I'm now going to make it only an every January thing. After I did it the first time, then I did it again with other people. We did it as a group. Some of the people, we redid it. But I revisit it every year, and I revisit my money program that I have, which was the first thing I ever launched in 2011, because I don't read it and go, oh, wow, you're so amazing, you wrote this. I do it because I'm learning something about myself. And it's not all bad stuff or anything like that. You learn how far you've come that you might not have acknowledged. But I'm also seeing, that's an old pattern, or that's something or that's a habit that I don't want. That why am I holding on to this? Or, oh, yesterday, like I was looking at something around expectations, and something was a bit like, whoa, that one I needed to see so I can understand it and clear it and move on. So it's like a lifelong program. During lockdown, first lockdown, I did it for half price. I've done it again for half price. So it's 97 plus VAT. If people want to just get the link to that, just let me know, and I will, just DM me on Facebook, via my website or Insta, and I'll just send you the link. You can have a look and make your mind up. But it's something that is brilliant because it keeps that rhythm and momentum, because we do that thing with money. I've done well, I'm going to hold on to this luck, and then we kind of let go of every practice and everything that we were doing, and we stop ourselves from growing again. So this just helps you keep that momentum, and it's pretty damn magic.
I've enjoyed that. I'm going to definitely get you back on to talk, because as you know, you have these conversations, and I mean, today we had to have a time on it, but like I feel I could talk to you so much about so many things that tie into money. So definitely would love to have you back on. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Please check Sarupa's blog out and her Instagram out. And if you're interested in her program, hit her up. And we're going to end now. We have a 15-minute break, and then we'll be on. We won't be on for the next session because she's unfortunately cancelled, but I will be on just to answer any questions, and we will carry the rest of the day on. So thank you guys so much. It's okay, Nicole. If you have any questions, you can pop them here, or you can connect with Sarupa on Instagram or Facebook. But thank you for joining. I'm going to keep myself on mute and my video on because I'm going to be on all day. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, everyone. Take care, guys.
Thank you for having me.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being a part of this. See you guys.